everybody. This is Fago Franklin III with New Stitch Media. I'm here with team owner Kevin Mays. First and foremost, how you doing today?
Doing well, man. I'm doing really good. I mean, can't have too many bad days lately, so we're all good.
Amen to that. But before we jump into your journey, I want your perspective about Breonna Taylor. How can we bridge this gap between the Black culture as well as law enforcement?
For me, man, there's so many thoughts that you have on a daily basis about what's going on right now in society. I'm a true believer of it takes a village. And I feel that, our police forces, people that don't understand the differences in any culture, need to spend more time in our communities. It's tough to go into an area only when there's trouble or when you feel threatened or when you don't know. And when you mix ignorance with fear, things like this happen. And I think that's what our society is facing, is just overwhelming ignorance. And the fear part, I don't know where it comes from, but when those two things come together, it creates a very, very volatile situation, and that's what we've been seeing. So, I'm a firm believer in community policing, and being present for the entire day, or not just when there are bad things that or when suspected bad things are happening. So that's the mindset that I'm in today right now. Ask me after these announcements are made, it may be something different.
What inspired you to kind of start your own basketball league?
Well, I've been working in the professional sports market, in industry for a little over 10 years now. I've kind of touched just about every piece of a sports product that you can, from ticket sales to fundraising, to media, to game day operations. And this opportunity was not something that, I went out looking for, but it was an opportunity that became available. And, that with, the community that, that I was born and raised in and that our team will be going into, needs and deserves something like this. So it was the perfect storm.
How have you adapted with the coronavirus pandemic and, building up your league right now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not easy at all. But at the same time, there are some scenarios that have taken place that are allowing for, great growth in the league, and for markets like mine. The biggest thing is that, it's probably been a 30% decrease in opportunities overseas for guys to play. So, we've got hundreds and thousands of athletes, every year that, make the trek across the water to fulfill their dreams. And now with what we're dealing with, they don't have that opportunity. And there are so many NBA spots. There are only so many G League spots, and they can't go back to college. So, this league really provides an outlet for that market.
What obstacles did you have to endure with just building this partnership up for one thing, as well as building this dream up?
Man, building the dream. I mean, we all face those trials and tribulations. We all have tough decisions to make. I mean, there's been times where, you go into a venture and you make no money, or you make little money, or you spend more time than you think you need to. But I'm a firm believer that, all those things eventually equal up to the greater good. And I think I'm, preparing to cross that threshold right now, to where, opportunity has met preparation, and, people call that luck. But, like I said, 10 plus years in the working field in getting to this point, it doesn't even, begin to touch my time as an actual athlete, a collegiate athlete, a high school athlete, little kid. Doesn't look at, the hard work my parents went through to make sure that I could play those sports and be at those practices and, do all those things. So, when you do things like this, people look and say, how, why, how do you get here? But I mean, this has been a lifelong journey and outpouring of love from a lot of people to put me in the position that I am today.
What makes your league a little bit different than the NBA, overseas ball, as well as the Big Three?
Yeah, so I mean, the NBA, obviously, the revenue powerhouse that it is first, and that's the epitome of the game. That's where we all want to be. That's where we hope to push our players to get to, and hold some of that excellent talent that they have also, and provide a platform there. When you look at overseas. We may be like a middle tier overseas league, so where we'll be hoping to develop and push through to be a Premier League, but to provide that same opportunity, in the continental U.S. And then the Big Three again, with what Ice Cube has done with that league has been amazing. It provides a very novelty outlet for guys who are on the back end of their careers, but can still transition and play some good minutes in the NBA if need be. But our league is focused on the true, development of players that are hoping to make that jump to the NBA or right now a premier overseas league, or into the G League, whatever the case may be. But that's our goal every day is to increase our bandwidth and what we're doing to compete at the highest level.
So what type of players are you targeting? Are you targeting college basketball players? Are you targeting, free agents? Who are you actually targeting to get, more exposure on your brand?
Yeah, for sure. All those. You say the league has a agency function right now, to where we have a database of about 100 guys that have either played in the NBA, in the G League, overseas, or are just getting out of college. So we're going after that true crop of great, emerging talent. And you've got some of those diamonds in the rough of guys that never really got the opportunity they deserved out of high school, and things like that. So we are building a platform for players at any level, after they're out of high school. So there's a lot of synergies across the board there.
With being an entrepreneur, what inspired you to first and foremost be an entrepreneur? And can you give my viewers the key factors with being a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I was a little bit younger, something I used to, say to myself and what other people would say to me is, work isn't always going to be fun. I say, no, that's the truth. It won't always be fun. But at the same time, there are some people with jobs that are a lot of fun, and I want to be one of those people. But the true driver on a daily basis has always been, if I wake up today and I don't have any adult responsibilities, what would my heart, what would I be driven to do? And it's always been something in the realm of sports. And that's what I offer to anybody. Whatever it is that you would choose to do, if you didn't have anything else to do consistently, that's your passion, and that's maybe what you want to try to do. It's just been a transition for me, from playing high school football to college track, to weightlifting after college sports were done, and realizing that I wasn't going to go to the NFL, and how do I still transition into the arena and be a part of these communities, and not being on the playing field. And I find just as much enjoyment as excitement where I am right now as I did when I was, lacing up my cleats and putting on my helmet.
How has sports molded you into the individual that you are today?
Man, it's been key. It's been key. It provides structure. It provides direction. It provides mental and physical well-being. Um, you know, Everybody doesn't like to work out. Everybody doesn't like to, play sports and those types of things. But for me, the opportunity to maximize my physical and mental capabilities at the same time was intriguing to me. To know that, I could push my, physical limits, to the max, which would allow me to kind of tap into other parts of, my thought process, has pushed me on a daily basis. So, I don't have as much of the physical, obviously now, but the mental, capacity that I am able to develop on a daily basis as an entrepreneur is exciting. Being able to, create new challenges for myself to ensure that, I can achieve what I need to achieve to, maintain a basic, livelihood is a true challenge. And it's kind of what drives me on a daily basis. I won't even say it's doing what hasn't been done or, recreating the wheel or anything like that. But for me, every day is new. And I think that's everybody's kind of, battle cry or challenge on a daily basis, is to continue to recreate ourselves, challenge ourselves, and to really, push the limits in that way.
So where can we find your organization, your new league, and where is it streaming at?
We are going to be streaming on a service called Sportscaster. And that'll be in March. Season is slated to tip off March 2021. And we can be found right now on Instagram and Facebook, Flint.United on Instagram, Flint United Basketball on Facebook. Website is being developed right now. Actually, going to be doing that right after this, completing that. But that'll be flintunited.net. And then hopefully you'll start to see more of us on outlets like this, and continue to really help grow the brand recognition of the league and our team as well.
So with COVID-19 going on, where are y'all going to have fans? And if y'all do have fans, are they going to be required to wear face masks?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's number one on any, business owners list is to keep everyone safe. So we'll go through all the necessary precautions. If we can have fans in the arena, we'll do temperature checks. We'll have masks available, and we'll practice social distancing as best we can. I'm sure we'll have seating limitations and all those types of things. So we'll put the proper distance between parties within the stands, of course. And then if we can't have fans, one of our main goals right now is to really condition our fans and our viewers to digital viewing. We do have the streaming service capability. So we want to make sure that, when we're out there playing, that, our community has an opportunity to still see us, build that championship culture. So we're working on partnerships within the community with restaurants and things like that to make sure, streaming sites are available. So when people are, out and about, even if they can't make it down to the arena or if we're away, that they can still see us play.
So I know you're a sports guy. How are you feeling with all these different sports coming back? Do you feel like it's weird because there's no fans there? Or are you enjoying yourself just because it's sports back?
It's not weird until the camera shows it. Football and basketball. Especially for football. I mean, when you're watching on TV, the camera, they get a good angle of most of it is just the field. They pump that crowd noise in, the only thing you're missing is, actual video footage of fans and people in the stands and things like that. But it's still, different. I think I was watching I want to say it was Clemson or somebody like that last weekend. And I mean, they had tons of fans in the stands. So you get a good mix of both worlds. And then I think the NBA has done a great job with their digital fans and the video boards that they have. So I mean, I'm just happy that sports are back. It's my pulse. I think it's a lot of other people's pulse that didn't think it was their pulse. But it's something that, keeps us going. It gives us landmarks in time. And I think we could take a poll and get a good gauge on people who didn't think they needed it. They probably say, man, I kind of miss, having to hear that background noise. So I think we're all pretty happy about it.
Out of the four teams that are still playing in the playoffs, who you think is going to be your favorite pick to go to the finals and win it all?
Man, it's tough. It's tough because if you know about Flint, Michigan, there are currently 3 guys that are playing between the 2 teams in the Western Conference Finals. So you have Monte Morris that plays for the Denver Nuggets. You got JaVale McGee and Kyle Kuzma who play for the Los Angeles Lakers. So I'm torn on that half. But I kind of want the Lakers to win out just because of the dynamic of Kobe and those things. But if not for that, I think I would go for the Nuggets. But it's not. I don't hate LeBron. I do want to see him win another one and win it in LA because that would be dope, and I think that's what will happen. But it's tough. But I think a Western Conference team will for sure take it all. The Heat are playing tough too, though. Jimmy Butler is playing amazing ball right now. Tyler Herro's playing great ball right now. So it's a toss up. As crazy as this season has been, I think we'll look back and say this was one of the better NBA playoffs that we've seen in a while.
I definitely agree with you. And you got guys like Jamal Murray and Jokic that are real young that are very exciting to watch. So I'm pretty excited about. Exactly. And then on the football end, what are you intrigued by? What teams are you intrigued by like right now that you like that you think that could possibly make it into the postseason?
For NFL. Yeah. Man, it's tough to say right now. It's been some crazy games already. I mean, you look at the Patriots. I mean, Cam played amazing, the other night, with a late drive. It didn't, quite pan out. They missed it right at the end, but, that's gamesmanship. That's something that they learn as teammates, that into the game stuff that, they didn't get to tighten up on, through a preseason, and the off season was kind of crazy. So you think about, 4 weeks from now, they get in that same situation. And I already see a play that they would install that could, change the course of that game. I mean, you got the Chiefs playing amazing. You've got the Seahawks, man. It's early. It's really early to tell. I want Cam to win. I definitely want him to win a championship. And then you got all these guys getting injured. So teams that you thought may have had a better shot, it's just it's crazy to see, how many storylines have come out the first, whatever it is, 2 or 3 weeks of the season. But, you got those standout teams that are really showing, some of them didn't miss too much of a beat.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to keep it to the NFL for a second. What is your perspective about the Black National Anthem? Do you think it's just a trend, or do you think it's actual change and everybody coming together? I don't know who asked for that.
It's tough. I think that it is refreshing to see the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and these large organizations get behind the cause. But at the same time, I'm not a fan of division or divisiveness. I don't agree with the American National Anthem. And not to say that I disagree or agree with the Black National Anthem, but there are some things that we need to stop doing, and there are some things that I think further drive a wedge between us. And it's a fine line. It's a fine line, but I don't think that the Black National Anthem is the answer to the issues that we're trying to solve. But it is more awareness. It adds another layer of awareness. And I start thinking about elementary and high school history classes and things like that. How those books need to change. And I mean, we can go down a deep rabbit hole on those things. But it's like we just have to keep digging deeper and creating more true awareness, and not just pacifying certain things. So I think we're absolutely moving in a good direction, but we got some work to do.
Amen. And my last question is, what inspiring and encouraging words can you give the country right now?
Man, just keep pressing forward. I mean, these are truly troubling times. It's exhausting. Gives us anxiety, stresses us out, makes us nervous. All those natural emotions that people can feel. I'm feeling them on a daily basis. I know we all are. But we have to be solutions based. That's one of the reasons behind what I'm doing. We've protested, we've marched, we're raising the awareness. But at the end of the day, if we can't decrease the amount of crime in our neighborhoods, if we can't rid our neighborhoods of drug and alcohol abuse, and those types of things, then we can't see much progress. So providing opportunities that are owned by us is something that I wholeheartedly believe in. And again, I know crime, trouble, drug and alcohol abuse, mental illness, all those things are prevalent in all communities. It's not just ours, but that's what we're responsible for. We're responsible for ourselves and our people. And if we take care of that, we can truly move forward. So I think that one of my goals is to really uplift us through my franchise and our organization, and to show what possibilities can be. And I think that's the message that that I'd like to start pushing, and a lot of people is creating true opportunity, value, and increasing the worth in our communities.
Amen to that. I want to thank you for being on my show and just giving the world some encouraging words, as well as telling the world about your journey and starting your own league. I definitely, want to be a part of that. So definitely keep me posted on everything you're doing.
Absolutely, man. I for sure I will do that. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to have individuals like yourself reach out and provide a platform. So 100% appreciate it, and definitely look forward to getting you more engaged with what we've got going on.
All right, Kevin Mays, everybody. Thank you for being in the show, and definitely have a blessed one.
Thanks, man. You too, brother.
All right, now. Bye-bye.
Yeah.